If you are a fan of the Contra series, you would know that there are quite a number of games that were developed during its long history that started way back on early 8-bit consoles, but would still see sequels being developed and published even up until more recent years. So it would be of no surprise to see the likes of the original PlayStation and even with the PS2 gain a few sequels under their belt. While some were considered very good and others were kind of hit and miss, but if you were a fan of the series, there was something there for everybody. But when Contra Shattered Soldier released on the PlayStation 2 in the year 2002 and later in 2003 in other regions, it brought the series back to form and would also mark a return to the two-dimensional style gameplay that got the series started in the first place. This game would also get a later port onto the PlayStation Network between 2012 and 2013 and is considered by many to be one of the best games of this type in the more modern era of games in the series, and utilises a lot of abilities and control systems that were featured also in Contra 3 The Alien Wars. So the plot is based sometime in the distant future where the Earth remains devastated from previous alien invasions, while most of humanity has been literally wiped out. So with the rise of this game, essentially another alien invasion occurs where a powerful relic or artifact has been stolen, and you have to play as one of the series' most popular characters with the aim to defeat the threat but also to retrieve the relic. The game is very fast paced, frantic. It plays like a typical run and gun shoot 'em up, but also has like vertical or horizontal style shoot 'em up elements at different points in the game and different levels where you're fighting across sea and air. Plus, one of the notable aspects about the game that was heavily praised in its reviews was the notable soundtrack, and the reviews themselves were generally well received across the board on all magazines the game was released on, stating it to be a fast paced, frantic but yet very enjoyable experience. Although tricky, it's not an easy game. These Contra games are very difficult, for a casual player at least, or for those that are fans of the series and know what you're doing. This would go down as one of the best games that you could play in that format. The game does have multiple endings, so there's a lot of replay value on hand, so you can try and gain access to everything that the game has to offer, so it will keep you playing for quite a while. There's a lot to do here. If you like blowing stuff up and just running and just causing as much mayhem as possible, you'll have a blast with this. But like I said, it is tricky, but it has very good graphics and it really suits the tone of what the game's going for, especially even with the destructive weaponry at your disposal that you can change between different narratives using the shoulder buttons that will have you shooting rockets, homing missiles, just bullets and just anything in between that will allow you to cause as much devastation to your enemies as possible. It's definitely a fun game to play in short bursts, but will become more tricky the further into it that you get, as and when any of these type of games. But it's definitely an experience worth trying out for sure, and if you're a fan of the series in general, it is recommended that you do give this one a look for sure. But I would love to know your thoughts of this and what you think of it overall. Are you a fan of the series in general, and what are your thoughts of this particular version of the game that was released on the PlayStation 2? So be sure to share it down in the comments below. And if you would like to see more content around more run and gun style shoot 'em up games like this that were also released on the PlayStation 2, then you can check out other videos I've covered previously in this playlist right here.